after the live, I would greatly appreciate if you hit the like button, as it will greatly help push me through the analytics, and it will help more of our friends like you and I get here. We closed the daily below the 524 level. I'm going to turn this brightness down in the background so that it doesn't hurt your eyes. I apologize for that. I forgot that that was on. But we closed the daily below 524. However, I think that this is more of a trap here setting up. And I'll go over every reason why I think that. And you can let me know whether or not you agree with me. But I think we're going to have a nice active discussion here. So let me turn on the chat. We probably lost a lot of people that were going to be in this live because I had to restart it. But you know what? That's okay. It'll keep it smaller tonight. And partially, that was a nice motivation too if I had to reset it, because I think we'll have a smaller group now because it's not going to put this out as much. Sean, welcome back. ATK. Jay, good evening. Tanya, welcome back, love. John Hall, welcome. Albert, glad to see you in here. KBS, welcome in. How many algo do we have for winning Wednesdays? 4,000. Then we'll get into the intro. Hamza, good evening. Free Toast, welcome in. Matt Holden, awesome to see you in here. And plus, now that update went out, and now some get to see it right before, right after the daily close, and it's just a 9-minute update or 11 minutes for them. We have algo, 4,129 algo so far on winning Wednesdays. So we're starting to move up the chart there a little bit. So, good evening. 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, August 26th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I do appreciate you for tuning into this live. I hope to have an active discussion. Always interesting to see who tunes in on a Saturday evening when a lot of people are out partying, and it'll be especially more interesting to see who comes back after they heard the key information. And now most will just watch it on the update. So maybe this is a way to keep it less clustered. So if you have questions, tonight might be a good day to ask. So it's a lot easier to have an active discussion with 50 people if you're trying to get your comments seen than when there's 150 or 200 people in here. So take advantage of the circumstance. The 200-day and the 30-minute is what we're trying to hold here. We're trying to not have a reversal in the smaller time frames, as every time we have a golden cross in the 30-minute time frame, we just come right back through. However, we have this W reversal here that looks like a bullish Dartley. We have this what looks like a consolidation on what looks like is going to be a bear flag setup. I know it doesn't look like it in the 30-minute, but if you break it into the hour, that looks like a bull flag setup. So it looks like this should break out to the top side, and then we can finally put the rest of this pattern that we've been talking about for the last 10 days, it feels like. Come back up here and retest that 57-cent area. Now it's a little bit lower. As we said, every day it'll come down a little bit. Now it's around 56.2, 563. But I would still anticipate if it comes up here, you could have an overrun up to the 4-hour time frame, 200-day, which is probably around the 59-cent mark now as we continue to break through daily candles. 5866. So in the short term, I'm looking for a breakup here. We closed on a long leg doji here at the end of the last candle. If you don't know what a long leg doji is, let me just show you real quickly so you understand, because I like to use this as a teaching style setup. Whoops. But a long leg doji, it's an even price movement from the high to the low. So you have an even move to the top side as you do to the bottom side, but it closes in the middle. So in a long leg doji, it'll close in the middle. Earlier, it was set up as a dragonfly, but we ended up having a little bit more of a movement up, and it allowed the price action to turn into actually a long leg doji. I want to show you an image first before, because you're not going to know just by a definition. So right here. So in the middle here, the middle is where we closed. The long leg doji is in the middle. We started in a dragonfly. we ended up squeezing more with the pressure because what ended up happening, which was odd, but it happens. We had a long leg doji set up. Had we have not made that last push up to that 528 level, it would have stayed a dragonfly doji. By doing it, it overextended it out till we had a lot more topside pressure from the bottom, and it ended up making it an even move up as to where the breakdown was in the middle. So that's how we ended up there. So that's the long leg doji. And then if you're wondering what the long leg doji means, I don't really want to get into a long definition, but it's exactly what I just said. So it signifies indecision among buyers and sellers during the trading session. The candle represents during the trading session the price moved up and down and ended up closing around the same level where it opened, giving it a cross or inverted cross shape. So it's indecisive, and we've had some red candles. We've been a little bit more bearish. This generally signifies a trend reversal. So we had a bearish move coming down, gravestone, switched to dragonfly, more top end pressure, and now we've had more indecisiveness, long leg doji, dragonfly, more of a dragonfly, long leg doji. It's signifying to me we've got more pressure to move up here, in my opinion. So that's what it looks like to me. So is it going to happen? We don't know. I appreciate the 29 of you that are watching. 26 likes, doing a fantastic job. Just fantastic. Alessandro, my daily candle on XLM. Webull is missing for 826. Anyone else? For XLM, let's take a look here real quickly. So no more 54% down. No, we need, before it was ever going to come down 54% if it does. And it could go either way, but right now, the 54% down, yeah, it's still a 54% chance we break down ultimately. But I've said ever since, we need a rejection here. We need to fulfill this bull flag if it's going to break down, and you need to get the bearish cross. You need to reject there. You need to have some kind of buying power. This is XLM, but for XRP, no, we've got a down candle right now here for XLM. For whoever asked that, I don't remember. I'll look at sec. But right now, we need to retest here before the further move down. But if we were to break out past there, you could invalidate that move. It could switch it, but the percentage is we're more likely to break down with everything that's showing right now to retest that 2020 uptrend. That doesn't mean it has to happen. We could have put in a local bottom here now at 435. We switched into a bull flag, but if that's the case, we not only have to break up past that 574 area, we need to get past the 200 day up here and start having a trend reversal. So if we're looking to not break down all the way to, let's say, that 374 area, which is the 2020 uptrend, and we can go into the chart. But if we're looking not to break all the way down, we would have to break out, and we would have to get above the 4-hour time frame, and then we could ultimately push up where this big drop started. But this looks like a bull flag to me. It looks like we're about to meet the apex point here, and I think it was a nice little fake out there to have a daily candle close where it did. And now I think we're going to go where we're going to go. More people are going to end up shorting the market now because of where the daily candle closed, because as a technical trader, that signifies where you should be shorting. If you're doing a technical trader, how long can it said way go? What do you mean, Johannes? I have some open orders for XRP and 41 cents. What are my chances? Free toast. For it to hit down there, I would say it's about 54% right now. Unless we were able to invalidate this bearish cross here. First, you need to get over here. I can't change the 54% down before the further move up in the grand scheme. We're going to have the short-term move, but I mean to grab all that liquidity that is possible at 37.5 cents. Before I'll switch that's not going to happen before a huge breakout. We would need to get on top of first the bearish cross, and it's, what is it, 5.6, what is this, 5.64 right now and this chart. The other chart, it's a little bit higher, but I'm using this chart because it's my short-term chart. We need to get on top of here. First level, 5, 6. I said 3, so it's a little bit higher. 5, 6, 4. So 5, 6, 4, and then you'd have to get in the 4-hour time frame and get on top of the 200-day. If you could get on top of that 587 level, then you could start talking short-term trend, reverse back up. We did not have to have a full bearish divergence, and we invalidate it. But right now, the only thing holding us up is the fact in the daily, we've been using that 200-day as a level of support. Whether we're above it or slightly below it, it's still being used as a level of support here. And now we're about to reach the apex. Our best opportunity right now to have that move up here and make a 9% rally or 10% is now. Before the futures market opens tomorrow, this is the best opportunity for XRP to make a run. So everything I'm seeing, if it's going to make a run, now's the time. Now would be the time. Yes, it can do it after the futures opens, but it takes less liquidity here to make it move up. I used to watch boxing, but I can't help feel that all sports are fixed now, so it makes it hard for me to watch anything. 42 people in here now. Thank you so much. Coming back here after I had to restart. No problem, Free Toast. Does that make sense, everybody who's here? Does that make sense what I'm trying to say? Hopefully it does. Hopefully this resonates with some of you. Hopefully this allows you to understand at a finer level. And hopefully we're on the same page, honestly. How do I ever trade ES? What do you mean? You are going to have to elaborate. And then I want to talk about something a little bit. It's about XRP, but about the fact that if you're an XRP holder, sometimes the worst thing we can do is just pay it. I mean, I do this every day to cover the charts. I do this every day to stay in the moment so that we can see what's happening within the charts. But at the same time, we've got to understand it's not about the price in 2025 or 2023. The only reason it's about the price right now in 2023 is so we could be properly positioned. Right now, though, it is not about the price if you're a holder. Now, the only thing that you should be worried about as a holder is if you're bought in, where's your 20% below so that you can keep bringing your average down, if you ever get that chance. Do you ever trade the S&P futures? Nah, I don't trade the futures on S&P. I used to do all of that, but I put all my focus into crypto now. I could short it or long it, but honestly, it's so manipulated. You might as well deal with one. You might as well just stick with one. Stick with crypto. Don't go messing with the SPY and all that stuff. If you're gonna long or short the market, if all of that's gonna dump, crypto's likely gonna dump too. But that's all based on the U.S. dollar, so that's part of the whole risk asset thing. If risk assets dump, well, you're more than likely to get there. You know, I never even thought we could come close to getting the 50 people back in here. And I must say it's refreshing sometimes on the weekends. You know, when people are out or whatever. But I didn't think there was any chance we would get, you know, the majority of the people back here. And we had like 55, 56 people back when I had to shut it off. And we're back up to 49, so I commend everybody who found their way back. 42 likes. Make sure to hit that like button, as it will really push this content. It will allow more of us to be in here. Gotcha. I've been day trading with prop firm. Oh, well, that's a good way to do it. I'm not gonna kill you for that. If that's the case, just pay attention to the start of the week here. Not only the U.S. dollar, but see how the U.S. 10-year responds. If the 10-year craters a little bit and comes down closer to 4%, you very well could have. I think we're going to have more of a. I think it's more likely we have a rally in the stock market and we have a rally in risk assets, a short-term rally. Everybody's telling you to short everything, and you're hearing it from the big hedge funds and all that. Do you really think they'd be giving you the insight? Or do you think they're trying to get some liquidity for a small move up or a moderate move up here, at least in the next couple weeks, before a further move down if it's going to happen? I think something's going on here, and they're trying to garner some upside liquidity here. They're trying to get a lot of people to short this market. Another one that I'd pay attention to, and we don't talk about it often, but is Doge. Doge right now is on the top side of this first layer. So if Doge can hold this as a support here at 626, it is possible because Doge is set up for a further retest up. First layer is 665, but it's possible. It makes a return rally up to minimum here for Doge. So you got to watch this because Doge could be about to not just have a 5 or 6% move, a possible 10% move is looming here for Doge. So if you're a fan of Doge, just pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. This is where I bounce around just a tiny bit. But that was just one that was on my mind. XDC is eventually going to make things right. But right now it's in a heavy consolidation. Remember what XRP did when it was in that falling wedge, sort of? Like we could say it was in a falling wedge. That's what's happened here now. Remember how XRP broke down? I still think there's probably more downside pressure with XDC. Because we're going to have to validate trying to hold the 20-day. So XDC might be coming down here to about 4 or 5 if we break this formation. That would be the next move. However, it's had a nice lengthy move down, but there wasn't much of a difference in volume going up or coming down. That's the problem. You didn't have a big breakout like with XRP, but this often happens with XDC. It ends up caught in the middle between the moves. So money moves in after a rally with XRP, then it moves back out when the rally is ready to ensue with XRP. So I think that's what's starting to transition here. If we do break this bottom side here, that's where you could have a problem. I can make this a little bit easier, yes, for my XLM fans. I mean XDC, and since I own XDC, what the hell, I'll make it a little bit easier. Don't look at it yet. I have to fix it. We're going to base it on the 3-hour wick here. I'll make it nice and easy for everybody. Nice and easy, just so you can see what we're dealing with here. That is essentially what you'd have to break out of resistance-wise to break up. And if you break down out of that, it is a bad sign. You don't want to break out of this. Your last-ditch support would be down here at like 498. If you break 498, I mean, it's not just look out below. We know the targets, but you might have to revisit first levels 4 or 5 to try to save you, as we know, because of where the 20-day is in the weekly. But you lose that, you might be coming down to 384. That's not a guarantee by any means, but that is where you could very well start to consolidate. And it gets a little bit odder when it comes to XDC if you break it down deeper. And I know this chart's becoming a mess, but it's all about backtracking here. So it could very well end up consolidating, and it basically is telling us to move, and don't take it what it looks like now. I'm going to do it by wicks in the 3-hour. Look how that brings you right back to 384. That's why I'm saying, if this breaks down, I don't know if 4 or 5 is going to hold. I think it might be telling us that we're going to have to revalidate that uptrend. And I'm using the wicks because that's the farthest it came down for support. And it gives me a perfect leveling up. So what's the odds it's going to come all the way back down there? Depends if we break this pattern to the downside. If we could reverse up, it's a very big bullish reversal here. First level would be about 575. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot. But let's just say you come up to 575. It's not as small of a move as it seems. 13.8%. I'd say 13%. So that's what you'd be looking at for XDC if you could get out of that rotation. XRP up about 0.21%. We'll get into XRP market cap as well. We'll get into Bitcoin as it's about to have a golden cross on the MACD. I just don't talk about it a lot. But the convergence divergence, it could have a golden cross there, and that would be an important indicator that could be flashing. XLM, it's still caught within this downtrending resistance. This looks like the apex moment's about to end here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just saying, this looks like the apex is about to finish. And that downtrending resistance, I don't have to put anything. It's the same resistance as the downtrend is on. I'm just going to show you the support so you can see. We're coming to an apex point here. We're going to break up. If we break up our next level, our big resistance is up here at 13.2. If we can get out of here with this inverted head and shoulders look, looks like we got an inverted left shoulder, head, coming up to an arm, and now consolidating. If we push up, we should be able to push up in here. But then ultimately, we'll see if we can make it past there. But That's what we're looking at here. If we break down, so basically with XLM, if you break out, you're looking at about an 8.5% move. If it breaks this formation down, you very well could be looking at the accumulation again, back about 14%. So I don't think you would stop here if you break out. I think you would be more likely to come up here at around, not 14.2. That's off. This is supposed to be just, the first layer is lower. It's supposed to be there at 14.1. So it's about a 14% move up or down with XLM. Let's just be honest. Let's call it for what it is. That's about a 14% move to the top side or bottom side. 8.5% where you can get the first resistance roughly. And that's where the 4-hour 200-day is going to run through close. Hey, it's right there actually. It's coming down lower. We're converging here. We're getting ready. XLM is getting ready. I think this is a big fake out at the end of the day. I really do. Bitcoin, let's bring in the MACD real quick. Not even that many people today watching, but actually, I don't even know. Did more 67 people in here now. Okay, more of you are finding your way home. 49 likes. Make sure you hit that like button, as it will greatly help push my content, and more people will be able to find us. There, that was a little cloudy now, wasn't it? So let's go into the MACD. I don't use it very often, but to make a point, we can use it. So you see this in the 4-hourly. The MACD is about to have a golden cross here. And you can see the money flow. Well, I mean, the pressure here. We flipped down a little bit. We tested this support in the 4-hourly with the price action. This comes back through here. We're looking for that, but on the higher time frames, show this pressure. We're trying to rotate there in the daily too. If this starts to rotate, and that volume's starting to squeeze back to the money side here a little bit. In the weekly, we still got a lot to be desired here. We've had that very big, I guess you could call it a death cross there, in the weekly. So in the short term, are we trying to come back through with the MACD? Are we going to recross? I mean, we've tried to pull back through. And it has. It used it as a support. But now we got to see if the daily is going to reverse and try to pull a golden cross here in the daily. If it does, because you're starting around the bottom, we'll see. It's going to decide on these candles. But that money flow, or at least the volume is starting to shake back to the other direction. The 4-hourly gave us the first sign of green again here in the last few hours. So the 2-hourly, you can see we've crossed back over and have golden cross in the shorter time, or you can call it a golden cross, bullish. I don't really care what you call it. But you've had a recrossing in the bullish direction. So now we're waiting on the 4-hourly, which it still bounced off it, which is good. And then the daily, it looks like it's starting to reverse back here just a little bit. We need to get a little bit more green volume, but it's starting to dry up here on the push down. There has not been an extreme pressure here. So I think Bitcoin's setting up as well. The fake out with XRP, we faked out. We closed below the daily time frame. I'll talk about it in a sec. Let me finish my point real quickly here. So I'm going to close this because I don't want the MACD on anymore. That was just to make a point that in the daily time frame, it could be reversing. And if it is, we could have a cross there, a golden cross once again. So Bitcoin just over 26,000. And I think Bitcoin, much like XRP, is waiting for a move up. I think it's waiting for the move in the daily. Bitcoin's about to have a death cross in the daily. So, like I've said, you generally, before you have the further move down from the death cross, or before you have the bearish cross go to a death cross, you retest this. Bitcoin had such a volatile drop and lack of recovery that it's already about to pull the death cross. If it does, you would expect a retest up there. So I think Bitcoin is going to come up there and it's going to retest that area. It's very unlikely that it's going to just move down without a retest. That's how you shake out the shorts. That's how you get the shorts to buy right now. And then depending on the leverage, it wouldn't even really matter. They'd all be liquidated by the time it came up for that move. And then if it was to play true, it would just come down further anyhow. But they would all be liquidated. The fake out with XRP for the technical traders. Oh, you must have just tuned in. I've been talking about it since I started the live. But for the technical traders, XRP closed below the daily support. So 5.2, we can move this up just so it's right on it. But right now, the daily support on the 200-day is 5.246. XRP closed just slightly below that. So if you're a technical trader, it would be, for them, they might short the market now. It closed below there. That might be their indicator to short it. I find it hard to believe XRP is not going to come up here first. But if it wants to not go up there and use this bull flag, like I've said, if we use this as a resistance and then you ultimately lose this 495 area, that is how you could come through down to here real quick for a shuffle. And then you maybe just use the 200-day when you have the death cross as the resistance. But as of now, the way it's set up, looks like a bull flag. Looks like it needs to move up here. It's designed bull flag disguised within a bear flag. But it looks like the technical target's going to be up here. It just does. We're looking for a further rejection. That's the best way I can put it. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I can only say what's happening right now. And I can't change the formation. Would I love for the pattern to get going? Sure, I would. But at the same time, I'm not going to lie. So by telling the truth, I'm going to have to keep showing you the same thing. Or I'm looking for a rejection just so we can get on with it at 5.246 now, or 5.24. Get on with this rejection, and then it can move farther down here. But right now we had a golden cross in the 30-minute. We came down, tested the 200-day support. Now we need to come back up after that test of the 200 and hold the support here on the next pushover of 5.245. Every single time we've done that, we've come back through, not been able to hold it. And now we're trying right now. So this is our best opportunity for XRP to have that spike of 9% if it's going to do it in the short term before the futures opens. Otherwise, you could get into a tricky spot here, go Monday morning, if there's a lot of pressure to the downside. I still think the market overall, the US dollar is eventually going to collapse. So XRP is going to have to do what it's going to do to the downside before the dollar collapses. Risk on assets and all those are going to go parabolic for a moment when the U.S. dollar finally starts to collapse. Sean, welcome in, my main man from Maine. How are you doing, my friend? Glad to see you in. Nick, welcome in. The bearish daily FVG, strong resistance on XRP. Yep, that's that 524 level. It's magnificent resistance right now. Mikal, how things going, Tom? What's the story with you? Is it about the XRP price tomorrow? The XRP price tomorrow. No, as far as my title with the XRP holders, the price doesn't matter today. If you're buying in and you've got your price where you're comfortable with in the bear market, now your job is to only buy 20% below if you have your required amount. So you have to remember, it's going to be a cycle to 2025 or 2028 to ultimately get to where you're even wildest dreams can imagine. And I only say that because the final financial institution or bank can use the old SWIFT system until mid to late 2028 with all the extensions, which means the most liquidity coming in would come at that time. 2025 is going to be an ultra parabolic year as well, because that's where about 85% roughly, it's estimated, will switch in to SWIFT by the third to fourth quarter of 2024. So it's going to be a big year going into 2025. That's when they're going to sign up. Now, just because 85% by the end of next year are going to be switched in, they're not going to actually go online through the beta until mid to late 2025. So we want to see news the end of next year, seeing more news of ones that are doing the beta testing, that they're online, but their customers can still use both ways. The bank can still use either way. They can use the old SWIFT framework. They can use the new ISO framework. But most of them should be acknowledging it by mid to late next year. So that's why I say right now, our job was to do exactly what we did. We were meant to sell out in 2021, take our profits. But like I said, this is a different kind of cycle here. to buy in now and then to try and sell and then try to buy, sell, hope all the exchanges, hope all the internet, I hope everything just plays out in everybody's favor to where everything's just going to be standing on its head. Everybody who talks about, you know, we have a lot of conspirators in our audience, but everybody who talks about the worst case scenarios, but yeah, think it's going to be easy just to buy our crypto. If it's the worst case scenario, we're going to have to be firmly in place. ATK, what's up? Actually, I've already talked to you, ATK. You must be talking to somebody else. Aristoteles, welcome in. So what you're saying is don't sell our bag until then or take profits. I can't tell you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor. What I'm telling you is your end game. If you're buying XRP, why would you want... Here's the deal. Ready, everybody? Here's another reason you shouldn't be worried about XRP's price. What are you selling it into? The whole point of owning XRP is for the next flip. It's for when we switch and transcend from the paper money to paperless. If that's your point of sale, if that's what you're going to use to buy stuff, get used to doing it now. That's what I do. What I'm saying is I don't expect to sell my XRP back into fiat. It's either going to be transferred for goods, for housing, for materials, for precious metals, etc. I don't want to switch it back into fiat at any cost. I don't. That goes against my plan. Now, if I need the money on a parabolic spike, and we're still on the fiat system, well, that might change the story, and we need a little bit of money. We need a little bit of money. But my grand scale is not to sell this back into fiat. So that's why I say it takes me into 2020. This isn't a short-term game for me. I didn't start collecting precious metals overnight. And I'm not going to just end my accumulation on one small run. See, what you guys aren't understanding is a 1, 2, 3, 500% rally. That doesn't get my jollies moving. I'm looking for 4,000 or 5,000%. Forget the 15 grand this time. I want 150. And it's not out of the question if we bought it at the right spot. If we go to all-time highs, you shouldn't be settling. You shouldn't be like, oh, I made 100%. I'm going to turn my 3,500 into 7 grand. You should be setting your sights higher. You should be buying it in the bear market right now, looking for the opportunity. If you buy it now, you should never sell it before. And I'm not going to say never because I'm not a financial advisor. You should be considering if it's an asset you enjoy or if it's one that you think has utility in the future. If you're buying it at these cheap prices, you should always try to build in to the next move to all-time highs. We failed to do it in 2021, which means there's a whole big liquidity pool that a lot of people don't understand. There's a whole big liquidity pool up at all-time highs around $3 and who knows what it is. All the exchanges say different. I'll just say $3.50. So there's a whole bunch of people stuck there since 2017. There's a whole bunch of people stuck at $1.98, $1.66, okay, etc. in 2021. There's a whole bunch of people stuck right now at 95, 98, or 94, 88, 76, 59. Now we're going to satisfy some of these levels. We've got areas of liquidity. The most liquidity we have as holders now is all the way up at all-time highs. The bottom line is those people, we're talking about, we bought 10,000 tokens of XRP at 346. I bought more than that, but I'm just basing it on a 10,000 scale. That's $3,460. Do you realize at all-time highs for those same 10,000 tokens, they bought them for $35,000? That's what I was trying to stress in the 2021 bull market when I was begging everybody to sell. We're selling it at $16,600 at $1.66, scooping it back up at $3,400. Do you know the monumental shift we made in our own personal lives? And some don't even realize it yet. Some who have been following my trajectory the last 2.5 years, they understand because they're not doing the same things they used to. Countless people have quit their jobs, and that's not bragging. That means that they figured it out and they found a way to do it the right way. And they started turning profits from 2021 into precious metals. The importance of that is you become your own central bank. I don't really care what anybody tries to tell me about, oh, you're not going to be able to use precious metals when the power, or all this stuff, and end world. Who cares? Don't care. I'm not buying it for end times. I'm buying it for when something catastrophic happens to where our money supply is cut off. I want to be my own bank. I don't want to have to go bring my dollars and they tell me this is what you get for it. I want to be able to have my gold and silver, which will be universal, even if I have to leave this state, leave this country. And some, you know, it is what it is. So we can play the what ifs, but the best thing you can do is prepare as if you're going to be exactly where you're at tomorrow as you're at today. A lot of people talk about a big game in a world end scenario. Hey, I live in the United States, but I'll be in Paraguay or I'll be on the Cook Islands or wherever the hell they might end up. But the bottom line is I'm in Oakland County, Michigan. When the shit hits the fan, I'll be in Oakland County, Michigan, because there's not going to be any way to go anywhere else. We're not rich. We're not the elite. We don't have the understanding like they do to be able to go to the destinations that can get you out of it. So guess what? You're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to learn how to grow shit. Might as well have your cannabis. Learn how to grow that as well for pain management. You can use that for a whole bunch of stuff. You can use the stalk as paper. You can use it for bamboo. It's used in the same ways as cutting down a tree. You can do anything you want. It's just considered hemp-based. You don't have to harm the environment. Nothing. So that's all I'm saying. Prosperity Fund, welcome. Yeah, but you understand XRP at a finite level. So if I wasn't doing this, sure, I might be tempted to swing trade a little bit, but understanding the tax code, it takes that away. Between trying to teach everybody good fundamentals, between selling out in 2021 for massive profits and then buying back at such a discount, and then being able to accumulate right now with my other tokens that I've desired, that's something, and I can teach the fundamentals right now and show everybody you shouldn't be scared. I'm not scared in the least if it comes to 34.6. The only thing I'm scared about is it doesn't go 20% below it if it comes back down there. If it's going to go back down there like the 37.5, don't stop there. That means I never came back below my buy-in and was never able to buy more, even though I'm satisfied with what I have. That'd be like dangling a worm in front of a fish's mouth and always yanking it up before it could eat. That's where I'd be at that point. The Cook Islands, does anybody know about the Cook Islands? One of the few places left on the planet that has no law. It's not bound by any true government. Good luck trying to get there. It's in the middle of the ocean. That's where I want to go. Julie knows that's my dream where I want to move. So if anything ever happens, that's where I want to be. And they tell you that going to a lot of different places are free. But that's if you actually do some research, that's actually where it's free. If you guys have it, light it. I mean, we don't have as big of an audience tonight, but I definitely feel like chat's moving a lot more. So there's got to be more than 60 people in here now. Okay, 74 now. Wow. Thank you all for showing up. I greatly appreciate all of you. It's funny. You guys actually are interested in the Cook Islands. Do you want to see where it's actually at? There's the Cook Islands, folks. Good luck. Like I said, good luck getting there. It would take me 1 day and 4 hours to fly there. That's the Cook Islands by French Polynesia. And the Cook Islands is a nation in the South Pacific with political links to New Zealand. Its 15 islands are scattered over a vast. The largest is home to the rugged mountains. You have to go into it. See, when you get into the Cook Islands, there's a specific area. The Cook Islands right here. So here's what it says. The Cook Islands is a self-governing island country in the South Pacific Ocean in free association with New Zealand. It comprises 15 islands whose total land area is 240 square kilometers. The Cook Islands exclusive economic zone EZ covers 1.960, I don't even know, square kilograms. The Cook Islands is free association. It has directed its own foreign and defense policy. Though it has no armed forces and therefore relies on New Zealand for its defense. So New Zealand defends them, but it's technically about as free as you're going to get. It is besides Fiji, actually. But I was astounded. Somebody told me about it years ago. I think and somebody reaffirmed it on this station. Could you imagine? That's where we all meet. I know. Well, Tom, you know, I'm floating out on these damn islands. That's what would happen. I know, Bob. I know, but we have to leave you somewhere safe. But that would be a cool place for us all to get together. I'm super bearish now based on charts, monthly scholastic, RSI, all markets down. How low can XRP go before I buy? I mean, that's up to you, my friend. But you know, do you completely discredit the fact? Do you think that there's no chance we're going to come up and retest the bearish cross? Do you think that's just out of the question? Because I think right now, I think it's more plausible we go up there. I think it's bearish overall, but I think it's more plausible we go up there. You start looking at the recent formations. Sometimes the indicators, you know, they leave a lot to be desired because the overall move it gets correct, but the short-term intermediate move before it makes the actual formation, like we need some support here. We'll see though. We'll see. Oh. I'm assuming the Cook Islands is 420 friendly. I mean, the only problem you're going to have there is you can't rely on like the traditional stores and stuff. You're going to have to learn how to live on the land for the most part. There's little communities that you can go in, like tourist sites where people actually move to. But outside of that, well, the Cook Islands, I don't believe there is any self-imposed crypto tax there. So the fact that it's, you know, why would I assume what, Sean? Why would I assume that 420 is legal? Because it's a free governance by its people? I would assume they would find the way to smoke marijuana in a place like that. But hey, I could be wrong. Daily, we're going to try to, or 4 hourly, we're going to see if we have support left here if it does come down. Yeah, that's why the 524. If that uses that as the rejection point here, now we get caught here. And if we do break down, the moment we lose 497, I'm not so sure 435 would hold. So if that's the case, and it does break down here, but I'm just saying, I understand the indicators. I understand. I'm just looking at it from the fact, I'm looking at it both ways. I've said it's a 54% chance that we ultimately break down here. It's just whether do we come up there and hit that daily cross. Nah, no stupid questions. But being burnt by meme stock, seeing all the tubers getting paid pumping it, it seems like a lot of pumping XRP. What can you say to someone like me that XRP is good? Like I've said a million times about XRP, the biggest misconception is all the YouTubers that come on and say it's going to 25,000. You can only look at the adoption. That's how you should know. If you're asking me that question, you need to do a little more research. You shouldn't depend on what I'm going to say. Yeah, I get nervous because the SEC is... No, the SEC can be against it all at once, but the SEC's already tipped its hand. Well, I mean, that's basically what I got tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not looking to get into sovereign nations and all that. I was making a point. We go down the political road and it just loses my interest. So, that's what I got, ladies and gentlemen. It sure is. Yeah, the SEC case absolutely helped XRP. 100%. 100%. No, this is it. This is what always happens before adoption in utility. So we're going to see what happens here with XRP ultimately. We're going to see if we're going to come up here or if we're going to start breaking down. We're going to see. We're going to... Okay, what's your source? Google? I mean, I don't know how it works on the island. Most people think it's still illegal for Michigan to smoke except for medical. Okay, so it's legal for everybody there. If it's medical, that's the same thing Michigan did. Anybody could walk in and get a medical license. That's just a money grab. But there's parts of the island that I was looking at that isn't governed. There's parts of the island that aren't enforced. Like just like in Michigan, I can go to parts where there's no local government that's enforcing it. No municipals. Which means there's no anything. But you can go into the island, like I said, on the Cook Islands, where it's for tourists and things like that. That's what you're going to get the residency of. But that's just a point on the planet. That's just a spot. Ooh, I've heard a lot about that, Pat. You look at the partnership, Pat. Yep. If I didn't have a family here in Florida, I'd live in Puerto Rico, still U.S. territory, but no capital gain. Yep. Puerto Rico's starting to go on the decline a little bit. Now they're starting to try to impose a lot of things. Listen to Peter Schiff. He talks a lot about it. Yeah, I've never done kratom, but I'll stick to my cannabis. I've heard the withdrawals are not great. How low is XRP support? We've only got two to speak of here. We've got first one right now is 503. Then we've got about the 495. After that, the 435 roughly. But I think if we break this formation down, because that is disguised as a bull flag there. This is disguised. I think all indicators are going to be, if it makes the move up, it's not going to be caught by indicators. This would be the fake out move to a further downside if it happens, or it could invalidate the move that we're all expecting down. But I think if it makes this move up first, it's not going to be flashing on indicators. I think it's going to do the opposite is what I'm saying. I think there's going to be a trap if it moves up. I think everybody's going to be looking one way, and then we get a nice 9% shot there that liquidates the shorts if it's going to happen. It's got to look bearish, and then boom. And then if it's bearish when it gets up there, that's when we're going to decide. But I think, it's hard. It's hard to not come up there and get that added liquidity and added support. Doesn't matter. Let's get there first. 44, 37 and a half. No, I didn't say 44. 43.5 or whatever. After 37 and a half, then you break back into the formation. But we're not going to worry about that right now because it's irrelevant. That's a big move to have to worry about. Once you break that, if you're looking at the all-time charts, you break within a consolidation phase where if you start coming down even farther, we'll go to the short-term pattern, but your next major support would be down at the 2017 uptrend, which is sub 20 cents. So I'm not going to look past the 37 and a half cents, the 2020 uptrend, just to try to see a further agenda down. We have to do it in a steady moment. We'll see how this plays out. We've heard the opinion of everybody. We'll see how this plays out. We'll see if a further move does come to the downside. If we do break out of this, or if we end up breaking up and try to retest that area on the daily time frame. Every time, right now we're trying to validate a golden cross. But again, if we come down any farther, if we lose this 200-day, which it's trying, it came up, came down, rallied back, came down. But we're not losing it as of yet. Right now, it's showing a lot of strength here on the 200 days. So a little bit of volume either way can put this over the top. So it's a very interesting thing right now. Yep, long term in the grand scheme of the token, yeah, it's definitely looking good long. The token right now, long is good. But it's the short term. The short term, there's still a 50% chance this can come sub 20 cents. So I keep saying have dry powder. Just in case. You want to put yourself in the best position to succeed here. 69 people here, 69 likes. Fantastic. Yeah, it'll be hard, but it depends what your priorities are. It depends what what financial position you're in. It depends. See, for me, it won't be hard. If I see the end of a bull market and the run's ending at all-time highs, I won't flinch. I would wholesale it, and then I would look for the next major move. So here's what everybody misinterprets. So if you buy at 35 cents, you sell it out at 3.40, then you rebuy it in at $1.50. What's your average? Do you consider yourself at $1.50 average, or do you still consider yourself at a 34.5 cent average and cut it in half to 17.5? Because now you've got all those profits and you save 50%, which means you get to keep half the profits, which means you would get to keep $17,500 and have the same amount of shares back in at $1.50 after a breakdown or $1.75 from all-time highs. That's where the whole bullshit game in the head about my average price comes in, and everybody gets big dicked about it. No offense to anybody who does. But that's where it throws people off. Okay, I don't care about the average price. I care about how much money I have to put back in. So that's just that's my honest to God question there. What gives you more? Is it a better position play if you were to just hold it through and say you have a 34.6 average, do the consolidation back down to $1.50 after a read push to all-time highs at $3.50? Or is the smarter play, if you understand technical analysis, sell out for 35 grand, it's outside of a year, pay the 18% tax, buy back in when you start to find your best positioning, and then once you do, you start to buy it at 20% increments if it keeps going down. But you have to find your spot. That is very risky, but does that make you any wiser than somebody who held it? No, I think it makes you brilliant, but you have to find positioning. I'm not going to do that in every run from 37 to 94 in 3 months. I can't do it. I'm not going to pay 35% over and over and over and over. Some people don't pay their taxes. Big ball move. But I don't like compounding interest. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate that. So, I mean, if you do that, I could literally say, hey, I bought in at 34.6. I made $15,000 in profit. I bought all my stuff back, but I have 15 grand in profit. So does that mean my official average is like 17, 18, 20 cents? Some will say, no, it's $1.50 and I bought in at 35 cents. My average is way better. Not even considering the fact if it comes all the way down, I will now have a nice big write-off because I sold out and now it'll be a loss. Even though I took profits, it'll rework itself. They'll just have no gains in that scenario. It'll just be the, so that's what I think about. That's why in the 2021 bull market, so I had 47 cents. Consider this. I had 47 cents average, sold at $1.66, didn't buy back in until I have a 34.6 average. I mean, what does that make my true average then? So that's just what I want everybody to consider. When we talk about the averages, it's not always what it seems. It's not always what it seems. I could very well say that means my average is what, 10 cents, 15 cents? And I just continue to do that over and over, and it goes unnoticed. But I do it over and over and over, and now people are picking up on it. That's why the audience is over 18,300 the last I looked. Absolutely, Donald, that's the smartest way to do it. If you guys appreciate my work, make sure you hit that like button. Consider subscribing to the channel as well. In the USA, crypto sales inside of 1 year is 35%. If you sell it a year and a day, it's 15%. Of course I'm going to tell you when I sell. I showed you guys in real time when I sold in 2021, right as I did it. Well, I had to show you after because Uphold wouldn't let me show the information. Because at the time I was just on my phone. I didn't have a tablet and a phone. You're only hearing people say XRP is going to 500, but I mean, that's the fudsters. They don't, like I always said, they can't read technical analysis if it slapped them in the face. So, 53 billion circulating supply. $1 is 53 billion. $10 is up 530 billion. $20 is 1.6 trillion. The total crypto market cap is 1.1 trillion. or 1.3 right now. You do the math. Where can XRP go? That doesn't mean that when we have the new liquidity, there's approximately a $13 trillion market at some point that could join into the crypto market. So that right there adds a 90% upside in liquidity. 53 billion approximately XRP in circulation. Max circulating supply of 99.8 billion. So that's why when people say it's going to go to this year, I mean, if you guys want to tell me how XRP is going to get the, like, some of the ones that everybody asked me, like Blockchain Backer, he made a prediction that next year, and the mainstream picked it up for some reason, that it's going to go to like $26. Well, how in the hell is it going to go to $26 if the total crypto market cap next year is probably going to be around where it's at now, if not lower? So where are we going to get that liquidity? Please, if somebody could inform me, I wish he would inform me. Where are we going to get the liquidity at $26 right now? If that would put us at, I don't know, $2.5 trillion market cap for XRP alone, and the total market cap is 1.3 trillion. I mean, that's a fucking stretch. You don't even get massive ODL liquidity until mid to late 2025 and max liquidity until 2028. So please, enlighten me. That's a good way to get views and another excellent way to wreck your audience. And I'm only using him because he was national news for a few days. I refuse to read it because it's absurd. That's how you know they're all part of the game. They're all part of the same. They all play on the same side of the coin. They're all getting paid by the same people. I could get paid by those same people. I just reject it all the time. I could be a lot wealthier, my friends, and a lot less stressed out trying to do this every day. Yeah, everybody who says Shiba is going to go to $1, $500 trillion market cap it would take. Good luck with that. Shiba, you shouldn't be planning on that. But that's what I'm saying, everybody. If you look at the hardcore specs of things, take every single token you're watching, not just XRP. Every single influencer talks about them in unrealistic terms. XRP to the moon, XLM to the moon, Bitcoin, 5 million. You know, Bitcoin, 1 million by the end of the year. I mean, listen what everybody says. It's the same nonsense. That's what ruins it. That's where you get the hopium up. That's where the endorphins and dopamine starts going, and it becomes like a casino. The ones who really win are the ones who are going to follow me because I know how to invest. I'm not going to lie to you. If people leave because I'm telling them the truth, good. They deserve who they find. And I'm telling you, I'm very positive. We do this as a unit, and we don't play the victim here. But I'll be honest with everybody. I put in a lot of work here, and you're going to know my goals, period. And some people say I should do this or that. It's my program. I'll do it how I want. But I appreciate the feedback. How much can XRP go to, Tom? That's speculative. We don't know. Speculative. We watch the transition as we go. It's speculative. I don't like to make predictions because the only prediction I ever made was XRP was going to have a historic collapse with the rest of crypto when everybody thought we were going to eternal highs, even though the Fed said that we were going to quantitative tightening. Dean, every single person you basically see watching me that starts watching, they are doing this. If everybody was doing it for investing, would everybody be so worried about the short-term move when you bought it in a bear market for 90% off after making almost 400% in a bull market? No. You bought it for 10 cents on the dollar after selling it for $4 on the dollar. But you bought it for 10 cents on the dollar, but you sold it for $4 on every dollar. I mean, think about that, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Like, there should never be any kind of negativity ever here. Ever. Nobody's doing it, but I'm saying there should never be backlash. We should be so enthralled in what we've done. The fact that we're getting almost $4 to every dollar we put into XRP, we were getting paid back. And when we bought it back, we were getting it for 10 cents on the dollar. Imagine in any work environment where somebody gives you $1 and you sell it for $4. And then with that $4, you buy it back for 10 cents. That's what we did. That's what gets overshadowed. You took $1, turned it into 4, and that initial $1 investment, you rebought it back for 10 cents with your $4 profiting $3.90. That's a remarkable profit margin. Not to mention now you're back up again from 34.5 cents up to wherever we're at now. That's remarkable. But it gets overshadowed because some asshole will continue to push his audience and tell them it's going to $26 next year. But then when it's at $1.16, everybody's going to be pissed next year. I'm not. You know how happy I'm going to be when it's at that point now? And I'm going to be up almost 300%. So that's who I am. You know, I can't help who I am, and I don't try to hide it. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I know where I'm going. I know where I'm going. I know where everybody else is going if they continue watching. I know where we can go, but I also know where most will end up broke, flat broke, because they listen to the wrong people. I tell you, I put out the signal. Right? I put it out. We all have a radio. We all have a form of a frequency to turn to. The problem is most people will take the FUD headline, just like with the news, just like with everything that's going on, the sexy appeal. If I bought something for $1,000 and I turn on YouTube and somebody tells me what I tell you on a daily basis, or somebody tells you that in a year your money's going to be worth, you're going to 5,000, or you're going to, based on what they said about $26 that the local FUD media ran with, they're telling you you're going to go up basically in a 1 calendar year, not 10x, not 20x, not 30, not 40, not 50, not 60, not about 80x. That means you're going to make, they're telling you in 1 year, would you rather listen to me if you're somebody new, and I say you're 3,500, maybe next year could be worth, in best case scenarios, if we do start to push out, maybe 7 to 10,000, assuming we are still in this rotation, because technically this pattern can last until August of 24 where we're at. And I can show you that with confirmation on the all-time pattern. Would you rather hear that and watch me, or watch somebody who might be able to do technical analysis? There's no doubt about that, but will blatantly lie to you. It clearly doesn't understand market cap, but will tell you by next year when I'm telling you what I'm telling you. See this? This is where it could technically take the play out. If it plays true. Would you rather know that you're going to be at 7 to 10,000 next year on your 3,500? Or would you want to hear you're going to be at 240,000 next year? Ask yourself, who would you rather listen to? Well, the majority of people will listen to the one who tells them that. And that's the truth. It takes longer for the truth to find its way, but the one thing that nobody can say about this community is we're broke. I guarantee you, excuse my French, I guarantee you that somebody who's been here since 2021 and covers it every single day and shows you the trades, the accumulation, and the sales, I guarantee you this is the only community that has money, that is up as much as we are, and has been able to invest into precious metals like we have and built our own central bank just on profits, and took the profits and bought back at 10% on the dollar, or 10 cents on the dollar. I guarantee it because nobody even covers it the way I do unless you pay. I don't make you pay for anything. This is all free. You know why? You know how I can afford to do that? Because I'm a good investor. I quit my 9 to 5 years ago before I started YouTube, and I'm trying to teach everybody to do the same. But you have to follow it almost identical, or it doesn't work. You can't live off gains right now when they're not there. Even if I sold at 91 cents, which I wouldn't have because the exchanges went down, everybody, so let's not bullshit everybody. We would have likely sold out around 85 when it pushed back up. So when it pushed back up to 85 is where I would have sold. I make no bones about it. That's where I would have sold on that rejection. Somewhere between 83 and 85. So now I've made about $5,000 this year, paying 35% capital gains tax. Takes a lot of that $5,000 away. You don't have a lot of money. Now all of a sudden that can take a tax return into taxes owed next year. So now if you have no money and you are owing taxes, you're not going to have that $5,000 anyhow by next year, which is actually only about, what, 3,000. It's going to be gone on one shot basically anyhow. So to understand that if you just hold it for a year and a day, it turns into a 15%. You get to keep 20%. And now you're playing through the cycle and you've been able to accumulate all through that phase if you have to. Now it's not just XRP. If you understand what you hold, this isn't the typical community. I'm not telling you to buy shitcoin, Chester Coin USA, Infinity Coin USA. I'm not telling you to buy any of the bullshit. I'm telling you to buy ISO, compliant, and the Internet of Things, because if you don't understand the Internet of Things, that plays into the old AI takeover, smart city, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into it because I don't want to get banned. But the Internet of Things are what helps push this whole next chapter. You start investing in the right things, and you also need precious metals. So, I made the headline, the title today in this update. The price, now there's 93 people in here. Wow. We started with like 17 people today because I know it wasn't being pushed out. I know most of you didn't get the notification. It didn't even send a notification to myself on my phone like it normally does. So, it's been weird the last few days. Too much truth being told, But that's okay. The ones who want to be here will be here. I can't believe it's almost to 100 people, but what do you guys think about that? Actually, I don't even need to. If you guys are newbies to precious metals, ready? You go to my channel, you go to my playlist, you go to Silver Stacking Series, and in Silver Stacking episode, we bought in episode 2 7 months ago, Silver Stacking episode number 2, and this is free for everybody. This is a series that I did, and I'll continue to do it. I haven't put one out in several months, in 3 months, but I started it 7 months ago. So the second one shows you how to buy silver. I showed everybody how to buy silver, and another one I showed you how to buy gold. I also showed you how to buy precious metals with crypto. This is so far a 10-part series right now. A 10-part series. And the videos didn't do very well at all. Nobody wanted to watch them. 600 on the first video, only 187 on the one where I gave 5. These videos did so poor compared to my normal views, but I was still willing to do it. I'm sure they might do better now, but look how few people watch these videos. Look at that information I put out for free, talking about buying gold, buying silver instead of gold at 80-to-1 ratio, and I teach why. Showing you how to stack silver, a demonstration, and what to buy: silver rounds, silver bars, not buying the bullshit minted silver, but buying true silver. I showed why gold and silver are true stores of value, Silver Stacking episode number 3, compared to Bitcoin and XRP. I showed 5 reasons why you should invest in silver when the gold ratio is 80-to-1, plus the mining stocks to look at in the future. Now we're into the future, ladies and gentlemen. Whoops. Now we're in the future. Went through a lot of stuff. How to buy silver and gold via crypto. What is gold-silver ratio? 84.9-to-1. Silver, the fascinating history of gold and silver. That was a great one. Beginner's guide for stacking silver and gold versus stacking silver plus gold for silver and industry. So I talked about the difference in industry in that episode. So the importance of it, not just. And then the silver stacking episode number 9, bull run on hold. That was 4 months ago. And I even talked about how Peter Schiff was wrong, even though I loved him, that it wasn't time for the bull run, and I was proved right. We got rejected at 2,000. Came all the way back down to almost 1,800. And then I talked about PBR then, and that's when we took advantage of the dividends. It was up at, we got a 47% dividend roughly. Their PE ratio was under 1. And now they don't offer a dividend. And we also had to move up of at like 40 to 50% while we were holding it as well and getting paid the dividend. It was tremendous. Then the last one was Russia gold shipment to the UAE, China, Turkey. And then we talked about the stop orders on gold and silver. But we talked about the big shipments that were being put into Russia. And when that one got 225 views, I was like, wow, nobody really cares. But there's going to be a lot more videos to come. It's just, it takes up time. No. You shouldn't be worried about selling AMC. But anyhow, we're winding down here, folks. That's what I got to say. I appreciate everybody who tuned in. I did see a donation here, which I'm really surprised about. Mainly because I haven't even talked about that at all. But see how 30, look at, this is my point. 96 people were in here. I talk about the gold and silver. 33 people left in that 5-minute period. That tells you how little people care about precious metals. It's sad. Some people are going to ask themselves, how did I get like this? Because they wouldn't listen to the information that was available. We would rather still pay somebody for BS to make you feel good. Yeah, I don't charge for anything, folks. That's the bottom line. Donald Chu, thank you so much for the $20 donation. That is incredibly generous, and it means a lot to me. But I'll continue to be the voice of reason. I'll continue to tell you guys the truth. I can't be bought and paid for because I know in the end what I'm achieving, not by the size of this audience, but I can see what's happening with my portfolio every day. I can see what's happening with my precious metals. I can see what's happening in the world around me. I may be on the wrong side of history living in the USA, but I'm on the right side of history with the knowledge that I've ascertained so early on. So for everybody who's with me on this journey, I greatly appreciate you. I love each and every one of you. Until next time, be safe out there. Be safe. And don't play the victim. Play the winner. Positivity over negativity. Give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, as today's the most holy day. I understand Sunday's holy as well, and I like to go to church to converge with the people who still show appreciation. Not so that I can pray in the church, because you don't have to do that. You can pray from anywhere. You can pray from a cave. You can pray from the homeless street. If you're homeless, you can pray on the streets, whatever. But I like to go there for a place of unity, for a feeling. You know, it's a feeling. So, yes, Sabbath, yes. Shalom. So, give thanks to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I'll be back later on today. I haven't finished all of my thoughts, so you might get me later on tonight. Stay blessed, everybody.